Good morning, beautiful beings. If you clicked on this video, thank you very much. So, over the coming weeks and months, I'm going to just start doing some transparency videos from wherever I am in the world, out and about, because many of you have been asking me about transparent communication, about how to be more transparent in your relationships and how to just show up more transparently. I created a few videos recently, and also part of the retreat that we do, a big part of it is transparent communication, of course, how to become and live more transparent and how to speak your truth and express what's really happening for you, what's going on inside of you. And for years now, I've been talking about transparency and holding space for people one-to-one and in groups and we use a sharing practice called, we call it tribal sharing or closed eye sharing, where people can just close their eyes, breathe, connect to the body and communicate from that place. And over years of doing this, that now becomes a natural practice even when your eyes open. So you begin with your eyes closed and you continue doing that. So for example, I still do that practice on a regular basis with my partner, with friends, and holding space for other people that come my way. So transparency is about showing up, yeah? So at the moment in the world, I don't know about you, but there's full power, yeah? It's always been quite crazy, yeah? The world's crazy. That's why you have to laugh a lot, right? If you don't laugh, you go crazy. And I shared in a video yesterday about how, basically laughing has become a practice of mine. Actually, laughing is quite transparent. Like when we truly laugh. Most of us can't laugh. But at the moment, I want to share, like, I don't know about you, but everything's heightened at the moment, yeah? So much is crumbling, so much information flowing around and has been for years, right? But depending on where you look, you just get inundated with opinions. And my favorite saying is opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And woo, yeah. So it's all going off, right? Today I woke up and this morning had a little conversation with some men that I speak to in a group around addiction and habits and transparency in itself, right? Transparency in itself is about breaking old habits, old ways that we've communicated. Now, we've all communicated from a foundation of fear, lies, uncertainty, untrust, and so on. So I speak to a lot of people. I say, you're transparent. Can you be transparent about that? And they say, well, some people say transparency with discretion. Well, that's not really transparent. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to give my privacy away. I'm not going to start speaking transparent to everybody. Well, not everybody needs to know what I'm really thinking and feeling, and I don't need to tell everybody the truth, And also, that can be quite brutal. People feel transparency can be brutal, and I don't want to be as transparent as you or boom, boom, boom. So we have, of course, like everything in the world, you're going to get mixed opinions about what it is to be transparent. So I always like to say to people is, look, transparency is always about you and your level of transparency, just like nakedness. So on our retreat, Naked the Retreat, which I speak about, if you come on that retreat and you don't want to take your clothes off, then that's your level of nakedness, and that is honored and respected, just as the guy that comes or the woman that comes and strips off and thinks that she's really or he's really liberated because they've taken their clothes off. Nudity is easy. Anybody can take their clothes off. So nakedness really is a personal choice. Transparency is a personal choice. Nobody's telling you you need to do or be or say or live any way other than what you truly feel. What the question of transparency is how are you living your truth? Are you speaking your truth to your friends, to your family, to your partner, to your loved ones, to your colleagues? And are you really saying what's going on inside of you? Or are you scared? Are you living in fear? Are you worried what they might say? Are you worried what they might think? Are you worried what society will think? Are you worried what, remember, many people in our time, by speaking the truth, have been wiped out, assassinated, killed. Many people have the cure for cancer. They've been wiped out. Many people have free energy wanting to come through. They've been wiped out. So the reason why many cures and many free energy systems and other, let's say, tools and systems that could come into place in our current time, our current society, don't come into place is because the level of transparency isn't there, and also the level of consciousness hasn't moved yet into a space to even welcome it in. And that's another conversation. So what I like to say to people is that transparency is, we're all creating transparent communication. I call it the language of love. I say that when you truly love yourself, and you truly love yourself, and you truly fall in love with yourself, and you fall in love with the planet, there's no other way to communicate other than transparently. There's no other way to live other than speaking and living your truth, because you've tapped into something beyond all of the, the stories, the indoctrinations, the programs, and all this other stuff. And even if you don't know anything, then great, that's your transparency. Even if you're indoctrinated, you're programmed, you're an addict, you're consumed, whatever, you can just show up and be transparent about that. But you see why that's difficult, because the minute you're transparent about that, you bring awareness to it, and then that thing starts to dissolve or die or fade away. So in communicating your truth, there becomes a lot of fear, there becomes a lot of angst, there becomes a lot of, oh, well, who am I? If I start speaking my truth, who am I if I've created a whole world on fear and lies? Who am I in that void? Who am I in that space? And ultimately, that's what we are, right? Space. So transparent communication takes you back to that clarity, that translucent, clear space where you're not trying to hold on to anything. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to sell anything. You're not trying to be anything other than this, whatever is arising in the moment. This is it. You're it. You're the mystery. You're here. So you can be transparent. So, for example, my mum said to me one time, I was having a lovely conversation with my mum. Talked to my mum a lot about this stuff and life and death and everything. And she said to me, well, I find it difficult to be transparent. And she started sharing a bit of like how she really felt about it and what was coming up for her. And she was like, so it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult for me, after she'd shared for a few minutes. I can't remember how long. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So it's really difficult for you, yeah? I'm like, that was hard for you, yes? And she's like, yeah. And I goes, okay, well, that was transparent communication right there. So you don't want to express all your truth because you're scared. You find it hard. It's really difficult for you. And all the other things you just shared to me, yeah? That felt like your truth. In this moment, that felt really true for you, yeah? And she was like, yeah. And I said, so you just communicated transparently. And then she was like, oh, really? And I was like, well, yeah, you just communicated your truth. What you're truly thinking and feeling in this moment, you just shared with me, and that you don't feel comfortable to communicate transparently all the time with everybody, and you find it difficult. So there you go. You just spoke truthfully. And she's like, so I don't have to just tell everybody everything, because no, you communicate that I'm not speaking my truth right now because I'm scared. Oh, so then if you said that to somebody, and someone's like, well, why are you scared? Why are you scared? Oh, because I'm scared because I don't feel safe, or maybe I don't trust you, or maybe I don't trust myself, or maybe I'm uncertain about what I really want to say. So all of that just starts, you see how we just start to go into that noise, we go into that truth, we go into that transparency, and that is transparent communication. Now, what I often say is that transparent communication is about, the inner communication, that inner voice, that inner language, that inner conversation that you're having with yourself on a day-to-day basis, but you very rarely share with other people. It's connecting to that space inside of you. Yeah, it's giving you an opportunity to really reveal that, because most of the time you're functioning from that inner communication anyway. The internal talk, the self-talk, the talk you're having with yourself all the time. And that's why we use a practice on our retreats called morning pages. In my whole life, I use this practice. And morning pages are like my friend recently called it vomit pages. It's like you vomit out everything that's going on inside of you onto the page in the morning. And what you find is that what comes out even though a lot of it is often just noise and stories, and when you dissect it and look at it, much of it's not real. It's coming from fear, false evidence appearing real. It's coming from assumptions. It's coming from taking everything personal. It's coming from victim. It's coming from dense, lower survival emotions. But when you get it out on the page, then all of a sudden you feel freedom, you feel lighter, you feel more attuned to what's real inside of you. So you see, that practice is you being transparent with yourself on the page every day. Now then, when you've done that for a number of years, and I've done morning pages for over 10 years now as a practice, and I did it 6 years every day. I've got umpteen journals. Recently I just threw a load of journals out because I just can't travel around with them. I've got too many journals. And it was actually quite liberating to just throw them out. And then you start to realize, oh, I can communicate that. I know how to communicate that. I can communicate that on a day-to-day basis. I can communicate from that space. I can really say what I'm thinking and feeling right now. I can share what's coming up for me in any moment with whoever I'm with, because that's what I'm feeling. And I can start to communicate from my deep feelings rather than just speaking surface stuff or what I think is acceptable in the moment, or what I think that other people can handle, or worrying whether I'm going to offend somebody or hurt somebody. All of that drops away. And we start to become these real, authentic, transparent communicators. And this for me really is my contribution to the world, because I don't want to see all the lies in the world. I don't want to, sorry, let's change that. I don't mind seeing them. I don't want to play a role in them. I don't want to uphold lies. And when we start to look at our past, and we start to look at, let's say, our false past, his story, remember, his story, most of our history is just based on his stories. So we look at our past and we can see how manipulated we've been, and mind controlled we've been, and coerced we've been, and just indoctrinated. Yeah, we can see that. So we can see when we start to look with transparent eyes and real eyes, which I call them, because we realize with our real eyes, we start to look back and go, oh, wow. Oh, that story's not right. That story's not right. Oh, that doesn't really make sense. Oh, why would that happen? Oh, that happened because that happened. Oh, that was about that. Oh, and that's over this. And that's about war. And that's about power. And that's about domination and control. And and we wiped out that whole civilization. Oh, we wiped out that whole country. Oh, now we're, and you start to look at the past trajectory, and you go, what? Sorry, the past history. And you look and you go, oh my God. Wow. That was a whole heap of lies, deceit, confusion, manipulation. Yeah, it's full power, right? And I don't want to say this today to get all serious, because we've got to come full circle and see how we can pull ourselves out of that through awareness. And for me, transparent communication, the language of love, the language of showing up and really expressing where you're at and what's going on for you. And like, for example, with sales, is a big thing for me. I'm going to do a video just on sales. But with sales, come on, people. Come on, this is a call out to you. If you're watching this video and you're in sales, or you're trying to put your message out to the world, I get it. But if we continue playing the same pattern that we've already seen, that is completely dysfunctional and distorted, and we just try to give it a different color. Yes, we put a different jumper on, but same jumper but different color. It's my favorite saying. Then what are we actually contributing to? Are we just not conditioned idiots? So we go into the new age, I hate that word, new age movement, but the spiritual movement, new age movement, self-development movement, whatever, science, don't matter what area you're in, yeah? And you start, I got this new idea, and then you come up against a big roadblock. You're like, now I need to make money because I need to survive. So it's so at the moment, we're coming together as a humanity, what systems really serve for us? And what's coming up for me is that in terms of the monetary system as we know, and all of the systems are collapsing. They've been collapsing for years, and they're continuing to collapse, and people are holding on to them. But we use the gift, for example, the gift model, because we want to come from that more authentic place. That some people just don't have money. They are struggling like crazy. 2 billion people on less than $2 a day. We've got billions of people out there struggling every month just to earn 5, 6, 7, 800 euros, and their rent is 700 euros. You know, I was living like this for a long time, and it is insane, right? So we don't look at that. We just look at the next thing to buy and sales and consumerism and market and sell. And you go down the Facebook feed and it is just sales. Look at this, Mom, my new master way, the 7 days this, I've worked out the new idea of how to hack this, how to hack that. You need this, new software, you need software for your computer. Oh, you're doing an online course, you need this online course, you need this platform, you need this new theme, got new themes for your website, you need a plugin, you can pay for this plugin. I mean, come on, people. All we've done is move the television onto the computer screen, and we've moved the shopping precinct onto online shopping, and we're all just doing the same thing. Like, we got to block that. We got to change that, in my opinion. Well, I'm working myself on changing that. And listen, I'm writing a book. I've got a retreat. I'm offering present sessions, and I've got stuff that I want to share, and I need to pay my rent, and I need to pay bills, and there's rules and regulations of this planet, this playground, right? So I'm in there. That's all I want you to know. That's the transparency for today. I'm in there too, surfing those waves. I had, in 2012, I had people go, oh, you got to have an online members site, and I went through a whole suffering time of like trying to like I've got to make my content of value. I was looking at marketing people like Brendan Burchard and other people out there, and I was like, wow, this just doesn't feel right. While at the same time, I want to live out of, or let's say in the new system or the new world of birthing, and still play the game. So there you have it. That's the dance of today. That's why I do the gift economy, because I think it's the most transparent, the gift culture, the most transparent way of me sharing is that some people come to me, they've got no money. Some people come to me, they've got a lot of money. And then if I do the gift and tell people where I'm at, like if I share with them, I have this amount of money, I need this, or I'm doing this, or I'm gifting this person, I don't have space to gift any more people full gift, but I can do it for, you tell me how much money you're earning, and I tell you a way that we can work together. For example, that's one thing I did with a few people. Like some people come on a retreat, they come and they don't have any money, and they say they don't have any money. It's like, well, that's why we do the gift. Yeah, because you can come, you can still experience, if you can raise the money to cover the cost share, and then afterwards you can gift in a different way. Maybe you want to give time, energy, maybe you have resources, maybe you have contacts, maybe you've got a skill or talent that you don't even know you've got yet. Once you strip away all the BS and strip away all the lies and the stories and the fear and the survival emotions that we're driven by, all of a sudden people have a lot more joy and exuberance and creativity, and they can spark new ideas, and they start to go, oh wow, I got clarity, and I can create this and help this and generate this, and then that brings them money, because money is just energy, it's just a flow, it's just another entity out there that we use and move, right? So you see how naked the retreat and living transparently, it actually opens up the opportunity. So when somebody comes to us and says they've got no money, I say to them, yeah, you don't have any money at the moment, but that's the story you're telling yourself. So if you do a naked retreat, or you do some cleaning, whichever way you go, whether you come on naked retreat or not makes no difference. But if you do your cleaning and you get all that noise out of the way that's blocking you, actually you are going to be able to generate that flow that you need of money, of support, of resources, of people. Because if we can start to unite and stop fighting, stop competing with everyone, stop just trying to sell everything and try to be the ones that have the voice, start co-creating with each other and sharing resources and sharing skills and talents, then we're gonna create a much more let's say ease, more simplicity as divinity. Drop the struggle, drop the armor, drop the fear and the worry. The only reason we don't speak transparently and share what's really going on for us is because we're scared. We're scared, and the fear wins the day. So that's what I want to say today. Maybe this video is of benefit to you. If it is, great. If it's not, great. If you listen this far and it's no benefit at all, then well, That's okay. I've watched videos like that before. But I hope it wasn't, a waste of your time. Maybe something will come from it. So thank you for listening. I'm going to be creating a few more of these.